everybody, it's Billy Watkins with another Premier Power Hour podcast. We're coming to you today not from a warehouse, but from one of the city's best, Louisville's best fine dining establishments, Anoush Bistro. A luxurious place for a reason, because we're talking about luxury packaging today with Claudia Jacober.
Thank you for having me. It's a beautiful establishment.
Very nice to meet you. You are brand new with Premier, right?
I am, about 6 weeks in.
Oh wow, yeah, fresh
off the
hot
boat.
off the. So tell us about yourself. How did you get hooked up with Premier?
Well, I've been in the luxury paper or premium paper space for about 25 years.
Okay.
Started when I was a baby.
Yes.
And that led to luxury packaging, and have been doing that for about 25 years. So I heard from a little birdie that Premier was trying to fill some spots in that space, and it was great timing. I love luxury packaging,
Right.
luxury items. So John gave me a call, and I said yes.
You know, I think of Premier does so many things, provides so many different types of products for our customers. But in terms of packaging, a lot of it's just brown boxes, right? You know, not you wouldn't think luxury. So, tell me when we're talking about luxury packaging, what sets that apart from just normal run-of-the-mill?
Well, I mean, when you think of luxury packaging, you're thinking about a luxury item, usually.
Right.
So a lot of cosmetics, jewelry, high-end liquor, consumer electronics. They like to dress up their boxes. It's not going to be a brown box. It's going to be specialty papers, specialty printing techniques, embossing, debossing, lots of textures, lots of ribbons, foils.
I'm glad you mentioned debossing. Everybody knows about embossing, but debossing is my favorite.
You're an
Personal,
ex-printer, so
I know all
so
about
you
the
would know
debossing.
that. And I think those printing techniques are super important when it comes to luxury packaging and dressing up a box.
Yeah, a lot of foil stamping.
Lots of
Everybody
foil
loves
stamping.
shiny things, and really catches your eye. You see that, you know what's inside, and I guess
Yes.
that's what it's about. You know, what if the outside of the
Looks
box
pretty,
is
it's
that
going to
fancy?
attract you, right? It's going to attract you. If you see a pretty box, it's definitely going to attract you to pick it up. So we want to attract all your senses as a consumer with a luxury packaging. We want you to be able to touch it and feel the difference of a rigid box versus a corrugated box. And I think that's the main difference.
So there are some of these things you don't even get until after you've already purchased the item. You wouldn't see it, necessarily on a shelf or something like that.
Right.
You're getting your laptop or your cell phone, something like that, in delivered or whatever, and then you have the luxury packaging. So how much of luxury packaging is about protecting the product, and how much of it is just strictly visual?
Any packaging, any product that's being packaged needs to be protected.
Right.
Especially if it's a high-end product. A lot of these perfumes or cosmetics come in glass jars, so of course you want to protect that. But it's more about the journey for the consumer. So you haven't necessarily seen this product on the shelf because maybe you ordered it online.
Right.
But you want to receive that box, and you want to have a journey. You want to be able to open it, take the paper out of it, take the tissue out, undo the ribbon. It's a journey to get to the product that you bought.
Right.
That you want the consumer to have that experience, and that's what luxury packaging is.
All part of that experience of getting your new product, whatever
Right.
it is. Yet when you open it, take out all that stuff. You want your phone or your laptop or whatever it be. You don't want it to be
Not
cracked.
be broken.
Right.
Right.
So it's a dual purpose.
It is.
deal.
It's definitely a dual purpose. But there's all kinds of materials and internal trays that we use to protect those products while in transit. So whether it's a foam tray or a rigid tray made out of cardboard or paper or thermoform or whatever the customer wants and however they want to dress it up, we can do now because there's so many techniques
Right.
out right now.
And some stuff like that in terms of foam trays and that type of protective packaging Premier's been doing for a long time. It may not be more of the luxurious, more kind of just down and dirty protection, but we're very experienced with that type of packaging.
That's correct. So, and when we're speaking about luxury packaging, although Premier does a lot of poly or bubble
Yeah.
to protect some of the shipper boxes, we probably wouldn't want to use that type
Right.
of packaging on the inside to protect the $500 bottle of bourbon that you're going to receive in the mail, right? You
Sounds
want it
good.
to be something really nice and pretty that opens up and not pops in your hand.
So that's a little taste of what luxury packaging is and what we expect out of it. Let's back up and talk about how did you get into this industry?
So just from the fine paper industry that I started with, I had some great coworkers, a great team, great learning. I've learned a lot throughout the 25 years. I've sold everything from premium high-end papers to high-end boxes. I've made the boxes. So I think just from my overall experience in the last 20 years has made me an expert in the luxury packaging space. Because you can dress up a corrugated box also.
Certainly.
You could do a pre-printed label that has foil stamping and
Right.
embossing techniques on it and still laminate to a corrugated box and it still looks beautiful.
Right.
So I think the 20 years of experience in packaging and everything that I've learned has brought me to this space now.
From fine paper into fine packaging.
Yes.
And it is as much as anything, especially with paper, that is an art form
It
in
is.
itself.
It's definitely an art form, and
I'm kind of a paper freak.
I heard.
I'm so glad you brought swatch books today because I'm going to be leafing through those later. But paper itself, that is a bedrock foundation to civilization, right? If it weren't
is.
for paper, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Absolutely, and it's a difficult process. It's not a copy paper, push the button type of
Right,
process, right?
right.
It is an art form
truly
to
is.
make paper, and there's a lot of paper mills out there that make beautiful papers.
And all of those can be utilized. Papers with, all kinds of colors, all kinds of finishes and textures for that tactile.
That tactile feel that you want
In your
to
packaging.
feel luxurious. Right now, what's really trending in the luxury packaging space is soft touch coatings.
Yes.
On top of the boxes or the magnet closures. So, when you talk about luxury packaging, you want to hear this.
Certainly.
That is luxurious. I know it sounds silly, but it's
But
just
it's
a
part of it,
magnet and
yeah.
it's part of the box. It's part of the experience when you open the box. So I think that's important, feeling it.
Yeah. For sure. Make sure I'm not showing what magnets. Everybody likes magnets.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
And there's so many materials to use. Paper and paperboard are probably the most highly used in luxury packaging or any kind of packaging. But when you are buying a $500 bottle of bourbon, it might come in a wood box. And
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Wood box, metal boxes, a lot of the football season ticket holders sometimes get a very elaborate metal box.
Like a tin
A
of-
tin,
yeah.
yeah. So there's all types of materials that can be used, and we have the great resources and partnerships, not only here in the United States, in Asia, in Mexico, to be able to supply our customers with those materials.
Which is what this is all about, and what you bring to the table is years of experience and connections, right? Of we were talking about these types of boxes earlier on, and I mean, if there's only 2 people in the country or companies in the country that are able to do a certain type of process, you've worked with them before, you know how to get that sort of thing done.
That's correct. So it's important. We have a great sourcing team. We have great designers within Premier Packaging.
Certainly.
So all of that comes into play. I mean, I think our customers would like to collaborate with the best and have everything accessible to them to come out with a premium package. And I think we bring that to the table because of all of our supply chain solutions that we have, the great design group that we have in-house, and our great sourcing team.
So, how big is this market?
Whew, it's pretty big. I'm glad you asked that. So, luxury packaging in 2020 was about a $16 billion market.
Nice.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we only had 1%
Just
of that?
get a
Just
little bit of that,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So they're expecting it to grow by 2026. It's supposed to be about a $23 billion industry. So that's huge.
Huge.
The biggest market that makes that up is China making some of that packaging.
Right.
But it all comes to North America.
Right.
So that's
who's buying the
huge.
luxury
Right.
products.
The luxury packaging. So
And it is amazing. It's not just when I start thinking about it and talking to you about it. It's not just cell phones and laptops. Like you said, bourbon. It could be anything.
it could be cosmetics. It could be it could be anything. There's so many small companies. It could be high-end shampoos and conditioner. Have you ever been to a really nice women's salon?
Have I?
I mean, if you buy a shampoo in there, I mean, you're paying $80 for the shampoo bottle. So anyway, all of those premium
Right.
products come in a really nice box.
That is very true. And so it's out there for anything. We've done some luxury packaging in the past. Obviously, in working with you, we're starting a big push into this market. Let's kind of talk about again what we're bringing to the table.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I think first of all, our internal team, our internal design team, we've got some of the best designers in the country. We've got the great design equipment to be able to give samples to our customers
Right.
so they can feel it and see what we're talking about. We could do 3D renderings to send to the customer.
Let me ask this: sorry to interrupt, but I think of it when you say samples. The most luxury packaging. Are we talking about giant runs of this stuff, or is can it lend itself to if I just want to do 500, or how does that work?
It does. Obviously, you're going to pay for,
Right.
right. The bigger the run, the smaller the cost.
Right.
Because we are turning on these big machines, right? So we could do anything from 10 luxurious boxes,
Right.
to 100,000 or 1,000,000 boxes. It all depends on the project. Every project is going to be different.
Right.
But because the runs might vary, we have different vendors and different suppliers for that can help us with those different runs. I wouldn't do 500 boxes in China.
No.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
The freight's going to kill you.
right. So you are looking for obviously
Domestic
Right.
suppliers, right?
and I would imagine our distribution channels, warehousing, all of those abilities come into play as well.
Well, Billy, you've been with Premier longer than me, but we have 62 locations,
Something like
distribution
that. I can't
centers.
keep up. Yeah,
Right.
they're everywhere.
So we're everywhere in the country, which lends itself to help our customers with their supply chain solutions, to be able to warehouse some of these boxes or items that they can't put into their facility at one time.
As we get going with this, are we already? I'm assuming we have existing customers that we're
Oh my
looking at.
God, we have I was salivating when John was telling me
Right.
who I was going to be working with. So, yes, like we are the premier packaging supply chain solution for so many retailers out there already.
Right.
We work in their fulfillment centers, we work in their distribution centers. So it's just a matter of, they already love us in those channels. It's just a matter of getting connected to their marketing group or their corporate office
Right.
where some of these luxury packaging brands originate from.
Right. Those decisions are
Right.
made. Yeah. Can you think of, without being brand specific, when you think about luxury packaging, what comes to mind? What are the ones that really blow you away?
Well, there's a lot. There's premiums, there's luxury vehicles, there's luxury jewelry companies, there's luxury clothing companies, there's luxury beautiful handbag companies. So all of those have to be shipped in a premium box because they want their customers to feel luxurious when they receive it. So having that experience when they unbox their handbag or their jewelry is part of their branding.
And I like, I love it because just being the paper freak and now being in the packaging industry, it is amazing. It is what designers do and what they can accomplish. It is an art form. It's as cool as the product itself half the time.
It is, and you want the customer who is unveiling their new brand to feel like they are delivering a sexy, luxurious product to the customer, as much as the customer wants to feel that journey and that experience when they're unboxing their product. So it's a lot of collaborating
Yeah.
between the customer, the end user who's launching their new brand, and the consumer.
I love it. I love the thought of packaging being sexy
Yeah, absolutely.
instead of just
it has to be sexy.
brown and down boxes. This is good. We have this little segment called "What's in the Box," right? My compatriot Zach, that we normally do this thing with, he's out on the road selling, not with us today. But if we were to reimagine what's in the box with a luxury type of box, do you have any thoughts on what we could do to upgrade our what's in the box?
Yes. So I would
a long way
use
for-
I would not use a brown corrugated shipper box, although they are very good when you're talking to e-commerce. But when you're talking about luxury packaging, I would want to use a box that simply has magnets and opens up like this. It's got a soft touch feel. It's got the square edges. It has some foil. And then when you open the
Foil.
box, it's got a diamond in there for me. That would be nice.
Diamonds.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
I love it. And I would just add debossing. Because
Debossing
that's
as
my,
well. That's right.
That's my jam. Since we don't have any what's in the box questions, normally Zach does that, and I didn't do my homework last night, so we'll just do some fun questions. All about luxury. That's what we've been talking about. We are here again. Big shout out to Anoush Bistro for letting us film here today, a luxurious restaurant in Louisville. I'm wearing a coat and tie, which I never do on these
And I
interviews.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought I'd look, try to look nice today. I'm usually just in warehouse garb, but not today. So, what types of luxurious things do you like? You mentioned diamonds. What else do you like?
Some chocolate.
Okay.
Some good red wine.
Red wine.
Red wine for sure. I'm
Okay.
a red wine girl.
I like the, I like white wine with ice and like a big gulp. If I'm going to be drinking
Out
wine.
of a box.
Yes. Oh,
That's
a
not luxurious.
All right.
very
A
efficient.
luxurious. Yeah, they are nice.
Yeah.
You just kind of
Yeah.
take the box off and you got the
I hear
bag.
there's like 63 glasses in a box or something. It's a
Pretty
lot
good.
of wine.
And if you're if you're doing it all day, that's how you should do it. Okay. chocolate.
So I've been known to spend $100 on chocolate strawberries during Valentine's Day.
Ooh, I think, there's a good luxurious packaging
It
thing
is.
that's probably been doing
comes
it
in a
longer than
rigid
anybody,
box.
right?
Yes, it's beautiful packaging.
Yeah.
That's probably why I spent $100. It's definitely not the strawberry.
Because strawberries are kind of cheap.
But they're delicious.
Do you have a favorite book?
I do. Been an athlete my whole life, and the book that stands out the most for me is The Champion's Mind.
Okay.
So it really talks about mental toughness when you need it the most. I've competed my whole life in different competitions, and having mental toughness not only in a sport or in a competition, but through life and work ethic and discipline.
It crosses
It
over.
crosses over, absolutely.
What type of competitions? We should have gotten into this earlier. What do you?
I do CrossFit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been doing CrossFit for about 7 years, and I love it. It changed who I am and my confidence and my mindset. And
How often do you go to the box? Is that what they call it?
yeah, they call
Right,
it the
call
box.
it the box.
Yeah. I probably work
I
out.
do not do CrossFit, but yeah,
5
go
or
ahead.
6 days a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're
Yeah.
doing Sheila's and Debbie's and no, what do they call the workouts? They do call them ladies'
they
names.
have ladies' names. Those are staple workouts in
Okay.
the CrossFit community, but there's many different types of workouts
Okay.
that don't have names. Some do, some don't. But it just hits a little bit of everything. It varies every day. And I love the competition aspect of it, which translates to real life also in sales.
Certainly sales.
So I thoroughly enjoy it. I have a coach. We competed at the CrossFit Games in 2018. I
Oh,
made
wow.
it to the games, which is a big deal. Of course, I'm in the older generation, so I'm not a professional. It's just a hobby. And then I qualified in 2020, but COVID shut that down. And then I qualified again this year in 2021.
Very nice.
But I started this new gig with Premier, and I decided this was more important.
This is
This is it.
your next competitive challenge.
That's right. It is a challenge, let me tell you, because there's 62 reps that I need to get
wow.
excited about luxury packaging.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have you had just 6 weeks in, but I'm sure you've had some excitement and some interest
I have,
for sure, right?
Absolutely. We're gaining some traction. We're working on projects. I've just finished up my first regional meeting, and I have 4 more weeks of regional meetings, and hopefully that will encompass all of the sales reps. But yes, so far so good. Busy.
That's very exciting, and this seems to me to be an amazing avenue for Premier to go down. They as so many things we've done in the past. I mean, it's just the right thing at the right time. And
Absolutely, it's great for Premier. Like I said, we have those contacts already at all those distribution and fulfillment centers that we're already working with. We're working with some of the biggest retailers in the country. So,
Right.
yes, it's just a matter of going to a different department.
Right. I can't wait. I want to see this stuff rolling off the line. I cannot wait to see what we do in the luxury realm. I will perhaps wear ties more often.
Yes,
if that
please
is the
do.
case.
It looks good on you.
Oh, thank you. If we had more time, I'd ask you to help me out a little bit more with mental toughness and that sort of thing. But later, we'll
Yeah,
do that later.
I'll send you
We'll
my
probably
book.
do this again. We were talking about maybe, another interview, doing petties or something like that. So I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
so
Yes, I'm all for
we will
that.
look forward to that. Claudia, very nice to meet and talk to you.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
the time.
Thank you for coming today, and thank you guys for listening and perhaps watching. This has been another Premier Power Hour podcast. Until next time, goodbye.
you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit crimpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.